Well, I'm sorry that I brought a bit of UK weather with me because it's been a bit cloudy, but actually when we arrived it was gorgeous sunshine. And so I've seen a bit of Gibraltar at its best, and I've got a whole day tomorrow to see some more, so I'm looking forward to that very much.
Excellent. Now, let's talk about your book, Can We Be Great Again? Why a Dangerous World Needs Britain. Can I just ask you where Gibraltar fits into Britain's role in that dangerous world?
Well, because Gibraltar has one of the most strategic positions that any of Britain's overseas territories has, right at the entrance to the Mediterranean. In fact, in the interview, the Chief Minister talked about the seizure of Grace 1. That was one example of how important Gibraltar's role is in terms of projecting British power. And so we're very proud that you're part of the UK family, but also there's a practical reason why it really matters for us.
You highlighted that incident with Grace 1 during your talk. Being that one of the first incidents that you would have played such a pivotal role as Foreign Secretary in Gibraltar's relations, what did it make you think about Gibraltar that you perhaps didn't know before?
Well, what I really felt about that was that many people back in the UK don't understand quite how much influence Britain has in different corners of the world. And as I said in the talk, the number of countries that are actually prepared to project military strength in parts of the world a long, long way away from them is very, very small. And given how dangerous the world is, there is a role for Britain. I think we've lost our confidence a bit in recent years, and I'd like us to get it back a bit. And I think I'd be so bold as to say I think the rest of the world would like us to get our confidence back a bit, because they are also worried about how dangerous things are becoming.
And could the Rock assist in getting that confidence back somehow?
Well, it is already. I mean, you've got this amazing harbour, this amazing position, and also you've got amazing people here who sometimes I think have more confidence and belief in Britain than we do back in the UK, and that should give us a bit of pause for thought.
And with some of the concerns in the world, Ukraine, China, Russia, it's just some of the places you mentioned in your talk, is Gibraltar more important now? Absolutely, because it is so strategic, and I think that is one of the things. My father was in the Royal Navy, and he always used to talk about the extraordinary position that Gibraltar has. But it's not just your position, it's also your tremendous loyalty to the UK that gives us great confidence. You spoke about the difference between hard and soft power. In the context of our agreement for a treaty between the UK and the EU, how does that change things when it comes to some of the powers at play here? Is that perhaps some sort of soft power for the UK with the EU? Well, I think that what Ukraine has done is it has caused both the UK and the EU to grow up after the very messy Brexit divorce and realise that actually we're close neighbours, we're friends, and we've got a lot more in common than divides us. And I think the deal that has been agreed for Gibraltar in terms of access to the Spanish mainland is something that is a very pragmatic example of how we can make Brexit work. I think lots of people were worried that it was going to end up being an absolute disaster for Gibraltar. It could have ended up that way, but it hasn't. And so I think, full marks to everyone who made it happen. You also spoke about the need to defend sovereignty. Does the deal threaten British sovereignty in any way? I don't believe it does. I think that actually it strengthens it, because it puts to rest a very difficult running sore between the UK and Spain about the status of the border in Gibraltar. And whilst that sore existed, there was always going to be instability and, frankly, discussions about sovereignty that are really in neither side's interest. So I think it's a positive thing. So do you think it's a good deal for Gibraltar? I think it's a good deal for Gibraltar. We need to see it happen. We haven't yet actually signed it.
But I think it will be a good deal for Gibraltar, and actually I think it'll be a good deal for Spain because, you know, Gibraltar makes such a huge contribution to the economy of southern Spain, and it'll help it to do that.
And how might that shift the power dynamics we're talking about?
Well, hopefully what it'll mean is that, you know, Spain and Gibraltar can concentrate on the best bit of their relationship, which is the enormous number of exchange, the tourism, the trade, and they can both help to make each other more prosperous.
Now, you also spoke about your time as a Chancellor. Everyone's speculating about Rachel Reeves's budget at the moment. In Gibraltar in particular, everyone's quite interested in what she might do with gaming taxes. What are your takes on that, what you think could happen and what you think should happen?
Well, I don't know what she's planning, and she may not have decided entirely. All I would say is I'd just be very careful about gaming taxes because you know, online gaming operations can move anywhere in the world, and if you get the tax deal wrong, then they're just going to move somewhere else and not pay it.
Finally, the Chief Minister said at the end your book could be considered somewhat of a manifesto. Any chance it's a manifesto for a return to frontline politics for you?
I would need to have a very big negotiation with my wife before that could be considered.